Welcome to Half the Battle, and welcome to the 250th episode! Man, 250 episodes! Comics, cartoons, toys! It's been quite a ride!
So, what would be appropriate to have as the subject of our 250th episode?
Well, I think it's time to talk in earnest about one of the longest running gags on this channel.
So, please enjoy this Erwin R. Shyster career retrospective. Mike Rotunda started wrestling at Syracuse University, becoming champion in...
Nah, I'm just kidding. It's Skidmark that we're gonna talk about.
Yes, poor Skidmark. The Joe with the code name so bad, I take every opportunity to make fun of him. By the way, do try to keep count of just how many running gags I can cram into this video. IRS and poor Skidmark are two already. So, meet poor Skidmark. This figure was released in 1988 with all original body parts. And first impressions?
Well, you can't ignore the color scheme. It's...
Hey buddy, how you doing? Everything okay?
I'm good. Thanks for asking.
Great, talk to you later.
Huh, that was weird.
Anyway, the color scheme certainly makes this guy stand out. But let's not focus on that right now. Let's instead start with the detailing. The arms have some nice cloth texture, and there's tons of stuff molded on his chest, like a gun, knife, and microphone. The best part though is on the helmet. There are actual dents molded into it, front and back. It's rare to see figures with a weathered look, and it's very nice. The only detailing I don't like is the gun on his left leg. It's hard to identify. I think it's supposed to be a sawn-off shotgun, but it's way too small, so it just looks wrong. Also, the gun, holster, and strap are all the same orange. They used black paint on other parts of the figure, so they really should have added some there too.
That brings us back to the color scheme, which is...
Hey buddy, you need anything? Can I get you a drink or something? Some soothing herbal tea, maybe?
Okay, what the hell is going on, Steve?
Well, it's just, last time you reviewed an orange toy, you went kinda nuts, and we had to stage an intervention.
Intervention? I got hit in the crotch by a hammer.
Oh, that was just tough love. Anyway, we're just wanting to make sure you don't go off the deep end again.
Don't worry, the orange makes sense in this case. I'll explain later. No, my biggest problem with this figure is the name.
Oh, come on. I know it's a running joke of yours, but most people just think of those tire marks you see on the road, or the G.I. Joe character.
Really? Let's ask a normal person then. You know, somebody who isn't a G.I. Joe fan. Hey, Mars Girl, what's the first thing you think of when you hear the word Skidmark?
Vic Mignogna.
I should have seen that coming. Let's try it again, shall we? Hey, Dina, what's the first thing you think of when you hear the word Skidmark?
Do I really have to say it? It's that underwear thing when...
Thank you!
You know this weirdo?
This is pretty normal for him. He isn't even dressed up as a skeleton.
Hey, no fourth wall breaking. Well, Steve, there you have it.
I guess you're right. Poor Skidmark.
Now, where the hell was I? Oh, right. Yeah, I guess it is time we talked about the color scheme.
Yes, there is some very loud orange on there, but it has a purpose. This guy is a desert vehicle driver, and if your Jeep breaks down in the desert, you want bright clothing to help search parties spot you. So, I understand why it's there.
But just because I understand it doesn't mean I have to like it.
I mean, I still think it looks like crap, but it's functional crap. There's no excuse for the snot green pants though. Here's my own custom version of the character. Looks much better, doesn't it? It also shows this figure's sculpt is really nice. They should have gotten more use out of it. Moving on, let's talk about his accessories.
He had none. There, that was an easy one to check off the list.
This doesn't mean we're done yet though, as like I said, Skidmark was a vehicle driver. So we're gonna look at that.
Now, can Hasbro redeem themselves naming-wise? I mean, they named the character freaking Skidmark, so they have to come up with a pretty awesome name for the vehicle, right?
The Desert Fox. They named it after a field marshal of Nazi Germany. Yeah, the Desert Fox was a nickname given to Erwin Rommel. He's the guy that Patton is yelling about in that clip Link Kara always uses.
You magnificent bastard, I read your book!
There's debate to this day on if he was a Nazi himself or how much of a Nazi he was, but he still fought for Nazi Germany, so screw him.
Please, for the love of God, don't debate this in the comments.
Anyway, onto the vehicle itself. It's really nice. It's a fun, unique-looking Jeep-like thing. The first thing to note is that it has 6 wheels. The extra ones in the back are for added stability, I assume, but judging from Skidmark's helmet, they didn't work.
I like the color scheme.
It's suitable for the desert. Even the orange is so subdued it could actually help with camouflage. The weaponry consists of a gun station that can move 360 degrees and move up and down. It's a really neat feature. There's also 2 missiles. According to the packaging, there's room for 6 figures. And yeah, if you cram them in the back, there is, but it only comfortably holds 4. The driver, the shotgun position, the gunner, and, the guy who sits in the back on this thing. It's a cool-looking workstation.
But I have no idea what it's supposed to do.
The blueprints don't mention it. Hell, it isn't even clearly drawn on there. So, communications, missile guidance, Galaga arcade cabinet, who knows? All we know is that it looks cool.
There's one annoying thing about this vehicle.
It comes with a removable antenna. One I can't show you on my toy because of course I lost it. Here's a picture from eBay. Yeah, things like this continue to be the bane of collectors. Overall though, it's a pretty great vehicle. But hey, have you ever wondered what it would look like as a Cobra vehicle?
Well, wonder no more. I've got you covered.
Here's one I made years ago. Pretty sweet if I do say so myself. As for the Skidmark figure overall, well, I can't say I love it, but I don't hate it either. And those were the only toys Skidmark and the Desert Fox got in the original line.
The toy molds, however, they saw some more use.
In the G.I. Joe line itself, the vehicle was recolored and retooled for that Dino Hunter set. Dear Lord, what have they done to it? That does not look good. Skidmark's body also saw an unexpected use, and not even in the G.I. Joe toy line. It was part of the molds Hasbro sent to Olmec Toys for their Bronze Bomber set. The figure looks okay. More info coming next year when I do a Bronze Bombers retrospective.
Man, I'm really hyping that up too much.
Skidmark, the character, wouldn't get a second toy until 2018, 30 years after the original, as a figure with modern body construction in the Collectors Club exclusive line. But there's something different about it. He's not called Skidmark. His code name has been changed to Treadmark.
Could it be that my words have been heard? That my constant jokes about the name have had an impact? Have 250 episodes not been in vain? Have Hasbro or the Collectors Club actually listened?
Okay, it's totally gonna be a copyrights issue or something that prompted the name change.
But I'm still gonna take credit for it. I got this name changed, and don't you dare suggest anything else.
Anyway, to talk about the figure itself, well, I'm gonna have to open it up. It's not a big deal though. Treadmark here is the second cheapest Collectors Club figure you can find on the secondary market, right after Windmill. Yeah, these two were not popular. So here it is out of the packaging.
It still has that new toy smell. What? I'm not weird. You're weird.
Right off the bat, I don't like the way the arms stick out. This is due to the vest limiting movement. And yeah, the vest is technically an accessory, it is removable, but it's such a pain in the ass to take off, I'm not gonna bother. Coupled with how the arms look themselves, there's just no natural pose to put them in. They always look awkward. Also, his neck is way too thin. It makes it look like his head is on a spike. These are, of course, problems not unique to this figure, but are seen in quite a few of the modern design figures. Comparing this to the original, yeah, they did a pretty good job in capturing the look, and they even improved on it in some places. He's got a shin strap now, and the silly shotgun-looking thing has been replaced with a pouch. He's also got a patch with a star on his left shoulder. The other difference is the pants. They went from snot green to bright light green. It's, different? I mean, it's not better or worse.
Unlike the first one, this figure did come with some accessories.
There's a figure stand, a pistol, a machine gun, and a knife. They're okay, but do show a missed opportunity. The figure doesn't have any holsters to store the pistol and knife. They had plenty of body molds to choose from, so they could have picked some with storage space for the weapons. Overall, it's a bit more goofy looking than the original, but not a bad homage. I still prefer the first version though. And those were the toys.
That means it's time to talk about the character, starting with the file card.
And a few things spring out at you. As a kid, he was very well groomed and polite, while as a Joe, he keeps his locker and Bay Area spotless.
Huh, hey, do you think that's why they called him Skidmark?
Is it a rib on what a stickler for cleanliness he is? Well, that's possible, but it may also be because of the other thing that makes him stand out. Once he got his driver's license, he broke all records for getting speeding tickets, making him the fastest and most reliable recon driver around.
So yeah, it's gonna be the tire mark thing.
The Treadmark card is mostly the same, but there are two differences. It says he joined the army to find a use for his speeding skills. And he got a reputation on the team for his vanity. Him being vain is something I didn't really get from the first card. Unless being well groomed makes you vain? That's a bit of a stretch. Oh, and he also got a motto on the new card. Please get out of my way.
Polite yet firm, that does fit.
Moving on from the file cards to other things, well, as far as the cartoons go, that's easy. Skidmark and the Desert Fox didn't appear in them, as the toys came out right between the Sunbow and Deke series. They did show up in a few commercials though, so there's that. That leaves us with the comics, where Skidmark did show up. He's first seen when he joins the Joe team in issue 72. Hell, he's even on the cover.
And first impressions, he's a stick in the mud.
On the first page that we see him, he scolds somebody for driving too fast, warns about never picking up hitchhikers, and scolds Windmill for sticking his head out of the vehicle. And he's a neat freak too.
Oh, by the way, have you noticed something?
He doesn't look like his toy. The comic gave him a much more subdued look, and he looks way better. Both him and the Desert Fox do get some good action scenes in this issue. He did show up a few more times, but didn't do anything notable. In his last appearance, he was wearing a really goofy looking helmet, so there's that, I suppose. And that was Skidmark / Treadmark and the Desert Fox. Overall, a very nice vehicle, and I gotta admit, a pretty decent pair of figures.
But let's get another opinion. Hey Steve, why don't you chime in? This is your chance to review Skidmark.
I already reviewed that figure like 3 years ago. You do watch my reviews, don't you?
Sure I do. I remember now. Yeah, it was a really great episode. I watch your stuff all the time.
Really? What's the name of my channel then?
Steve's Toy Review-orama?
Fine. Here are my thoughts on the Skidmark figure. The Skidmark action figure is really well sculpted. It's got some nice details, it's got a lot of character to it, like that dent in the helmet. It's a great sculpt that is totally obliterated by one of the worst color schemes ever. I mean, it is loud. It totally overwhelms the really nice sculpting on the figure. It comes with a cool vehicle too. So with a cool vehicle, you want a cool character. And that name. Even back then, they knew what Skidmark was a slang for, so they chose that name anyway. I don't know what they were thinking. A lot of unfulfilled potential for Skidmark. He had better colors in the comic book. They could have just done that for the figure. I don't know why they didn't. So yeah, I think Skidmark is pretty difficult to look at.
Thanks, Steve.
Whatever. I'll see you later. At this point, I should just legally change my name to Steve.
Well, there you have it, folks. 250 episodes. And I hope you're ready for 250 more.
I want to thank Mars Girl, Dina, and Lee, who is still gaming by the way, and of course HCC788 for being a part of this. They make these occasions extra fun to do.
And I also have to thank all of you for being here and watching. Well, I'll see you next time, everybody. And hey, why not like, share, and subscribe if that's your thing?
You're so He isn't even dressed up as a skeleton.
Kinky.